it's me. As always, I'd like to invite any artists out there to grab a sketchbook or something else relaxing to do if you feel like being creative with me while I draw this caricature portrait illustration of Shannon Rose for today's video's thumbnail. Feel free to follow me on Instagram or Twitter and share what you made with me, as well as I love sharing your art at the end of my videos. It's been a few weeks since I've last been active posting videos, but I've been really good at updating Instagram and Twitter, so if you follow me on there, you know what's up. But I went into labor 3 weeks early and I had my daughter on July 19th, so I've spent the last couple weeks recovering and figuring out a schedule while also trying to catch up on Etsy work. So YouTube took a bit of a back seat, but I am back. This video was meant to go out much earlier, but I hope you'll still stick around and draw with me while we talk about this drama from a couple weeks ago, because I still feel like it's important to talk about. Quickly before diving in though, I am super excited to show off my friend's business and share some of the beautiful things I have from her Etsy store. Lunar Nightmares is my good friend from TikTok, and I'm so in love with the jewelry and the tarot tray that I bought from her Etsy shop, Lost Nightmares, which will be linked at the top of my description. And when I ordered one of her tarot trays, she also sent me this gorgeous wire-wrapped moon crystal so I can show you guys here on my channel. But guys, I really need to tell you more about this tarot tray. So when you order a tarot tray from Lunar's Etsy store, you get to pick the color theme, but the tarot card you get is completely up to chance, and it will be unique and individual to you. As you can see, I got the Queen of Cups, and I got a printout with the card's explanation in my package, and this card embodies a nurturing mother energy, which is super crazy since I literally just birthed a baby. But I definitely recommend taking a look at all the beautiful crystals and trays and other things that Lunar has to offer on Etsy, so please give the link a visit and show her your support. And thank you so much, Lunar, for sending me this wire-wrapped moon necklace, and I'm so happy with the other things I've ordered from your store, and I'll definitely be back for more in the future. Now let's get back into the video. Before we fully get into the topics of this video about Shannon Rose, and before I provide some background and context for the current situation, I'd like to explicitly ask that nobody attack Shannon Rose, her family, or her audience, or anybody else that I mention in this video or any video I post ever. I feel like this should be a given for my content in general, but I wanted to make this specific disclaimer since this whole situation deals with extra sensitive topics and involves the conversation of family channels and family vlogging, therefore by association involves family members that have nothing to do with this and should be left alone. And I'd also like to quickly address my potential bias as someone who has supported Shannon Rose as a fan in the past. By being a Patreon member, I've made and posted fan art of her, and I reviewed her Etsy shop on a different channel of mine before I seriously looked into these topics and listened to other points of views and further educated myself on the pain that it has caused a lot of people, which has now refreshed my stance on the whole thing. I do also want to point out that I'm very glad that Shannon is trying to get away from her hurtful past and has totally shifted her content. I am not a fan of family vlogging, but I have enjoyed watching her pregnancy journey, birth vlogs, and postpartum advice videos as someone who's preparing to have a baby anytime now within the next few weeks. But with that being said, even though that's the content she wishes to be known for, it's not realistic for her to expect everyone drop her past like she's trying to do, and it's not realistic for her to expect nobody ever bring it up or make videos on her, since she is a public figure and an influencer with a very, very dark online past. And as I said, the research I've done for this video has refreshed my outlook, and therefore I'll be giving my current thoughts and opinions once I summarize what's been happening and discuss the bigger picture. For anyone who may not know Shannon Rose, she is an ex-adult film star turned YouTuber. She became popular for her storytime videos about her past work in the adult film industry, and she's known for being very upfront and uncensored. For years, she shifted her content toward vlogs that documented her journey as a mother who struggled to conceive her 2 babies for years through IVF, and she is now a family vlogger who still very occasionally posts stories on her main channel, but mostly keeps that content to her Patreon. Shannon has been involved in drama in the past that you may remember, most notably with Tana Mongeau. So years ago, Shannon and Tana caught major backlash for apparently finding an unconscious, possibly dead person in a bathroom stall, which they recorded, laughed about, and then posted to YouTube. A lesser-known controversy Shannon was involved in was faking drama with another YouTuber for views, which she did eventually admit to and apologize for. But this drama was supposed to be about like a miscommunication about a meet and greet or a collaboration or something like that resulted in Shannon pretending the other YouTuber found her address and showed up at her home, which worried a lot of fans, including me at the time. I actually personally reached out to Shannon when this was happening, and I asked her to please be careful since she seemed like she could have been in danger, and she responded to me with something that reassured me that she was being careful and she was safe, but she still kept up the act that this whole thing was real, which is really super icky to me. And most importantly for this video, and also the worst of it, is the terrible, gross, videos that resurfaced from her past in the adult film industry. In the past, Shannon has participated in content where she filmed and recorded fetish porn fantasizing racism and animal abuse. Specifically, there are videos where she explicitly talks about stepping on dogs and videos where she's actually stepping on crawfish. Shannon has not kept this content secret, though. In fact, she writes about it in her book and has expressed her regret toward that part of her career, but now she seems to expect everyone to accept her apology and move on from it like she has. So, what happened recently that brings all of this back up again? Well, Shannon recently posted a very emotional video where she expressed how hurt that she is because of, quote, trolls going after companies that she is associated with, causing her to be, quote, discriminated against for her past in the adult film industry. She talks about how she spent hundreds of dollars buying products from this certain company that she loves, and once she tagged them in a post, she was extremely hurt and felt discriminated against since they had blocked her after receiving information about her past in crushing videos from trolls and haters. She explained how hurtful this is to her since she has turned her life around but is still being discriminated against. Again, she was just blocked from the company, and how this is an example of cancel culture going way too far and how cancel culture is severely affecting her mental health. That's not all, however. It gets deeper and even worse from there. Also in her video, Shannon name-dropped this company several times, causing her audience to reach out to the company and contact them to defend Shannon on her behalf, leading this company to unblock her, and Shannon has since said that the company apologized for blocking her in the first place, and now they are on good terms with each other. But that's still not all. Multiple commentary and drama channels did report on all of this, which seemed to be absolutely not okay, according to Shannon. She posted a follow-up video and she posted multiple social media stories saying that drama channels are posting lies and that they're bullying and harassing her. Her main issues seemed to lie within the drama channels, saying that she killed and abused animals, which Shannon says is a complete lie and defamation since crawfish are not animals, that's what she said. And she would be suing these certain channels if they were not outside of the US. We quickly learned that one of the channels Shannon was referencing was a commentary channel by the name of the Dad Challenge podcast, who made a long response commentary piece about her and her past videos. But in a now deleted video, Shannon posted an in-depth reaction and response to the Dad Channel podcast, which was a very, very bad and hurtful response. She literally sat there in the beginning of the video and during her intro says, "Please watch till the end," because she says some things that she doesn't mean and apologizes for them at the end, instead of just cutting them out of the video if she regretted saying something. And to me, that makes me feel like she wanted to say the things that she apologized for, and she wanted those things to be embedded in people's minds and in their memories. She wanted people to actually think these things or agree with her. But then at the end, where most people probably wouldn't make it to the very end, apologize for those things. So, I don't know. It just seemed like she didn't really want to apologize or didn't want people to hear her apologies for those things that she said, if that makes sense. And also, before she reacts to the Dad Channel podcast's actual video, she then decides to fully spread a rumor, speckling in the words allegedly and supposedly here and there, that this man who made this commentary piece about her is a pastor who was fired from his job as a former pastor for raping children. She keeps saying that she doesn't know for sure if this is true or not, but it's just something that she's been hearing and something that she has been told, and that she thinks it makes total sense. She said this whole thing while smiling and holding back giggles like this was some juicy petty gossip that she had on him or something. And that's what happened, and now I'm going to deep dive into all of that and give you my honest thoughts. First of all, just to completely get this out of the way, first and foremost, I completely and utterly disavow how she handled this rumor that she spread about the Dad Channel podcast without any evidence whatsoever. Just that it was something that she heard and it made sense to her, and that's just completely hurtful and inappropriate, especially given her nonchalant delivery of the rumor. And now that I have that thought out there, I'm going to recover this frustration that I have and back up and kind of pick apart everything else and talk about that. So, Shannon Rose, as a public figure, as someone who has an audience, and as someone who makes her living by entertaining and influencing her audience and sharing her personal life with her audience is allowed to share their opinions publicly, talk about her publicly, and reach out to companies that she's associated with, whether or not that's like a mutual association, like a sponsorship, or a one-way association, like a non-sponsored shout out, which is what this video was about. And the reality is that people were and still are hurt by Shannon's past, and those people's feelings are valid, and they're allowed to be valid forever, no matter how long ago these videos were filmed. And Shannon's also allowed to be hurt by her audience, and that's valid too. But even though it appears that Shannon is very passionate about showcasing her growth as a person, and that she has this huge desire to enjoy this new chapter of her life with her family and leave the past in the past, it does not mean that the past is erased. She seems to expect everyone to forget and forgive, but that's an unreasonable expectation to have put on your entire audience, especially since her past is still on the internet and it's still hurting people. And it's great that she disavowed her past and apologized to the people that she's hurt, but people don't need to accept her apology, and they don't need to stop talking about it. The groups who are affected are allowed to speak up whenever they want, and as long as these affected people don't go after her family or participate in illegal activity like doxing or defamation, people can make and post videos expressing their thoughts without it always being considered bully or slander or defamation or harassment, or all these words that she's throwing out there in regards to commentary channels and cancel culture. I feel like Shannon needs to realize that if she's going to be an online influencer with such a public online past, this is something that comes with the job. She's going to get the backlash, she's going to get the opinions, she's going to have videos made about her, and she's going to have her past brought up over and over and over. If she truly wants to move on and never have to deal with her past again, sadly, the only way is to basically go off the grid per se and live a very private life, although her past will always still be on the internet for other people to see and for other people to be affected by. And I do want to say that Shannon has had to endure some repercussions of her past that are totally not fair. Like, for example, there was one time where she was renting out her RV, and the renters were haters of her, and they ended up trashing the entire thing, including spreading human waste all over the walls, all over the furniture, and that is something that is way too far. But the thing is Shannon made disgusting content, which attracts disgusting people, which attracts disgusting haters. But, like, again, the only way for her to distance herself from all of this is to go offline. And that is, like, a very terrible thing that happened to her, and nobody deserves to have their property treated in that way. But it's something that you just can't avoid if you have that on the internet and you're a public figure. And regarding her thoughts on cancel culture going way too far for having, companies being involved in companies blocking her because of her past. I think that unfortunately, she either needs to fully put up blinders to the criticism and accept that some companies are allowed to block her or cancel sponsorships, or she needs to go offline, since this is, again, a reality of being an influencer with a deeply hurtful and controversial past that's still publicly accessible on the internet. And about Shannon being upset about being blocked by this company that she had supported. I understand being hurt for the reasoning behind being blocked, having her past come back to haunt her, but again, anyone is allowed to block anyone for any reason, but I feel like it was very intentional that Shannon called this company out by name because it easily sets up the company to receive messages and backlash from Shannon's audience, which is exactly what happened. I also find it a little bit ironic because back when I was a fan and a Patreon member of Shannon, and when I did fan art of her and stuff, I was actually blocked by her out of nowhere, and I still don't know why. It happened after she tweeted something and I replied something. I don't remember what it was, but obviously I didn't say anything rude since I was a supportive fan at the time. And I did end up reaching out and asking her why she had blocked me, and she said it was an accident. Not sure if that's true or not. I don't know how you can accidentally click on someone's profile and go to the block button. But either way, it's like I didn't feel discriminated against like she says she felt discriminated against by being blocked by the company, and I definitely wasn't going public saying that I'm so hurt that I'm no longer able to access her Twitter content as a paying Patreon member, etc. And again, I just really want to point out how terrible it was for her to spread this rumor about the commentary channel, who all he did was commentate on her reaction to being blocked by a company. And that's just very mean and hurtful for her to do. Her video is now deleted, so I don't know if she deleted it because there was too much backlash or if she regrets what she said. I don't know, but I definitely have a new and refreshed outlook on Shannon Rose and the way that she handles criticism and the way that she handles reacting to criticism. And after this video, I can wholeheartedly say that I fully do not support her anymore, and this is just all too much. It's all too hurtful, and it's just not worth being a fan of this kind of thing for sure. But that being said, I also want to remind you guys, do not attack anybody that was mentioned in this video. Do not attack anybody that has ever been mentioned in any of my past videos or will be mentioned in any of my future videos. And also, do not be hurtful or rude or completely mean in the comments. Like I said, criticism is allowed. We are allowed to criticize and critique creators and influencers, but being mean is not cool. So let's not do that. So those are my thoughts on the whole Shannon Rose situation. Please let me know what you think below. Again, keep it civil. And if you made some artwork with me, as always, I would love to see it by tagging me on Instagram or Twitter at paintandsibyt. And here is some of the artwork that was shared with me from my previous videos. Also, remember to subscribe, follow my socials, maybe check out my Patreon and my Etsy shop if you would like to support my artwork even further. And with that, I hope you enjoyed hanging out and maybe make some art with me or just hanging out and listening. Thank you so much for watching and stay creative. See you next time.